Alright guys, so today I'm going to be talking about some of my flight test planes and my own creations. This is my mini guinea, and she has been a very good flyer for a very long time, and I think I'm going to temporarily retire her because I need the parts inside for some other projects. She's been crashed, she's been taped back together, and she's still working great. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but there is a little bit of uncamber in the wing, so, or ahedral, I think it's called, so the wing angles down instead of up, so that makes it slightly unstable in flight. And also, both aileron flaps are angled down quite a bit, so that's obviously a problem, but it is counter-rotating. It does work very well with these little motors right here. So yeah, I'm gonna fly her one more time tomorrow, and then take some of the electronics out of her. I actually only need one small Y connector, so shouldn't be that bad. She should be up and flying again soon. I might actually even fly her this weekend, but tomorrow will be her last flight that is scheduled and everything, I guess. In the meantime, I'm gonna need the battery. Give me one. We are gonna be chatting about this little guy, the triplane, the Fokker DR1 scale build that I just did, and I'm very pleased with it. Just want to go over some of the build features, start from the front, moving towards the tail that I have incorporated into the design. The original plans, we're going to start there, at the very tip with the motor and the prop. The original plans wanted the plane to be 36 inches and have a 380 milliamp battery on an in-runner brushless that's been geared down. So it would have been pretty powerful, but I don't have any of those parts, and my printer for some reason printed the wingspan at 24 inches. So I built it anyways, and then I threw a 2205 2300 kV motor in there, which is drastically overpowered, and also an 800 milliamp battery, so it's over double the power, actually over triple the power to the original motor setup, and the plane is smaller, so I thought that was kind of interesting. Next, behind the prop, we got these this smoothed out cowl design here. This is just layered foam board that has been sanded down to give it a smoother shape. It's not perfect, but it looks good from a distance and while it's up in the air. Not only will it serve an aerodynamic purpose, but it will also look pretty good too. So these holes right here are actually present on the actual aircraft, and they do go all the way through the fuselage. So if I take out my battery bay hatch right here, you can see that the holes are present here, and they filter air all the way back through there. They actually work as a cooling purpose. There's another hole right here to go in and cool off my ESC, and everything that's inside there. Just gonna replace that. Another interesting thing, moving back a little bit, is the battery bay itself. We'll go over that. There's a dowel here to generate a good strong chassis. And on the original design, the motor was actually supposed to be mounted to that, but I got rid of that idea and made myself a very tiny power pod to put the motor onto. This is double laminated foam board with the paper removed, so I was able to sand it down a little bit to get this curved shape all the way through the airframe. It's not perfect, but it looks pretty good. I'm not sure if I'm going to paint this or not because it's already been a pain, not really a pain, but it's already been an extensive build. I feel like if I paint it, I won't ever want to crash it, so I won't ever fly it, you know. We got the wire, the power cord coming up through here, through a small hole in the corner, and this just fits right on top here, and it slides right in. It's pressure fitted, there's no magnets, no Velcro, no nothing fancy, but it stays in there well enough where it's not going to come out during flight. So for the time being, I'm just going to replace that. And we're going to talk about the landing gear here, which, yes, it is made out of Connect, so, you know, whatever, but something interesting, when the plane is actually on the ground, it kind of shows to you like this. There's a very small area between the edge, the end tip of this wing and the bottom of the ground. That creates something called ground force. And it not only it gives the plane extra lift, a lot of extra lift to get that front area off the ground. It actually pops up off the ground at about 25% throttle, and it'll probably do it even lower because obviously this plane lacks lift. So yeah, moving back a little bit, we got our this is an airfoil shape, by the way. This entire bottom section here, that is an airfoil shape. Moving back here, we got another little hatch down here to access some of the parts on the inside. We got our receiver in there and whatnot and everything. And then moving back again, we got 3 ailerons. So ailerons on all 3 wings for a total of 6 ailerons. And the original plane did not have 6 ailerons, it only had 4. 2 on the top 2 wings, the bottom wing was just a wing. But the plans called for 3, so I made 3, so it should roll extremely quickly. The inside here, we actually have a servo tray. I need to clean up this hole a little bit, but which runs back to a new design of rudder that I have, which is a floppy rudder. But it is actually a really strong design in the air. When it scoops air, it angles itself in the direction that it's scooping. So kind of like that. I'm not going to show you the full, to give it a more of a upward and leaning thrust angle. So that's the kind of new design that I'm working with, and it actually works extremely well, not only in the air but on the ground. Even with such a small rudder on this plane, it has a lot of command over the airflow coming over the plane. I'll show you that in a little bit. Even though it has no tail gear, it can turn the plane very easily. Next up, there are the 2 servos that are in there. This middle one here was actually supposed to be designed to have a string on both sides running back to the rudder, which would turn that, but I changed that because I didn't really like that idea. So that's been changed a little bit. My elevators need to be fixed up a little bit. As you can see, they're a little bit loose. I need to put a reinforcement in there. There are 2 formers in here. One you can kind of see right here, and then the other one actually has holes drilled in it to allocate the 2 servo wires there. I haven't put my aileron servos in yet, just because I'm waiting for a Y connector to install before I install those. What was the other thing I wanted to say? I actually don't remember. I'm really happy with how the model looks. In my opinion, it looks very nice. I hope you guys agree with me. Let's get it all turned on and everything, and we'll see what we can do here. So I'm going to run you through my startup thing. I've got my 2-cell 800 milliamp. I go up front here. Going to remove my little battery hatch. I guess I'll put that right there. Turn on my transmitter. Then I'm going to plug in the battery. Just like that. And then I'm going to shove the battery in here. I got to kind of fit it in there. It only fits one way. Then the wires fold up and go into a smaller slot on the side there. And after that's in, the battery hatch, you can just replace the battery hatch. And once the battery hatch is in, everything is very tight down in there, and it's not going to be moving around at all. Something interesting is the light from the receiver. Let me turn this around here. Is actually so bright that it makes the entire plane light up. And if I was flying at night, I might think the plane is on fire. So that's something interesting that I noticed and discovered. We'll turn that back on though. And let's take a look at it on the ground. Alright, so now she's on the ground. I'm going to give her a tiny bit of throttle. She already wants to move, and that's how far my throttle stick is up. You can already see her moving slightly. You see I did like a tiny little turn right around here. That just goes to show you how small the rudder is, but it still gives it a lot of control over the airflow of the plane. I'm just going to turn around here so we don't hit anything important. And we're going to kind of do another little circuit. Yeah, see, that's how much thrust it gets. It noses right over just like that when I give it over half throttle. So I'm gonna make sure we didn't damage that, and let's take a quick look at that actually right now. So nothing seems too hurt. I mean, it all seems fine. One problem I was having earlier is that yeah, it's gonna be a problem. The prop is so close to the cowling there that it rubs. So when I nosed in there, it moved the prop back a little bit, so now it rubs on the foam there. So I'm just gonna fix that real quick. Maybe a little bit of sanding, readjustment of the block in there, and then we should be good to go tomorrow. You know. And I'll do a flight video and everything if I have the time. I might even put a little camera on top there. I don't know, but we'll see how things go. And I hope she flies as good as she looks.